Hingham is a typically big Norfolk church, towering over a small village. When these settlements were no more than wattle huts, the dominance must have been awesome. The exterior rhythm of tower, nave, and chancel is serene, as is the interior rhythm of lovely 14th century arcades. The nave height is immense, crowned by a superb hammer beam roof. Hingham's treasure, the Morley tomb, lies in the chancel, an astonishing work of red sandstone, rising the full height of the chancel and doubling as an Easter sepulchre. To Pevsner, this is one of the most impressive wall monuments of the 15th century in the whole of England, though he dates it well after Morley's death in 1435. The central arched recess is flanked by buttresses and every inch is carved. There are shields along the chest, weepers in relief against the back wall, and Christ filling the centre pinnacle above. More figures appear in the arch. It is all a splendid flourish of manorial pomp that would not look out of place in Norwich Cathedral. The east window was donated to the church by the Lord of the Manor in 1813, when Europe was being combed for treasures for the restoration of English churches. The glass is circa 1500 from the Rhineland and comprises 4 separate windows merged into one. The style is distinctive, with a contorted crucifixion reminiscent of Dura. In the middle is St. Anne, holding the Virgin, holding Jesus. The colouring is garish. The altar frontal has embroidery by Jeanette Durant in 1986. It depicts the seasons in bright colours to balance the impact of the window above. St. Andrew's Church in Hingham has an interesting connection to Abraham Lincoln. Hingham served as the ancestral home for the Lincoln family. Key members of the Lincoln family include Samuel Lincoln from 1622 to 1690. He was the progenitor of the American Lincoln line. He was born in Hingham and baptized at St. Andrew's Church on the 24th of August, 1622. He was the son of Edward Lincoln of Hingham. He emigrated to Massachusetts in 1637 aboard the ship John of London, settling in the New Hingham, Massachusetts, named after his home parish. His baptismal record is still preserved in the St. Andrew's Parish Register. Samuel's father, Edward Lincoln, from circa 1590 to 1648, was a weaver and churchwarden at St. Andrew's. Edward lived in the Swanton Morley, Hingham area, and he's buried in Hingham churchyard, but the exact location of his grave is unknown. The Lincoln family had been yeoman farmers and landowners in West Norfolk for centuries. Robert Lincoln, who lived from circa 1525 to 1556, of Hingham, left a will mentioning property near St. Andrews and bequeathing money to the church. The family held pews in the north aisle of St. Andrews, a sign of local status. Samuel Lincoln was likely baptized in the 15th century font which is still in use in the church. A stained glass window in the north aisle was installed in 1937 by the American Lincoln Association to commemorate the tercentenary of Samuel Lincoln's emigration. It depicts the Mayflower, the Hingham Church, and the Lincoln coat of arms. Several Lincoln ancestors are buried in the churchyard, though headstones have not survived. The Norfolk Hingham, with St. Andrews, directly inspired the naming of Hingham, Massachusetts. While the Lincolns were not Mayflower passengers, Samuel arrived just 17 years later, and his descendants intermarried with Mayflower families, like the Gilmans and the Hobarts. Abraham Lincoln was Samuel's fourth great-grandson. Today, St. Andrews is a Grade 1 listed building, which welcomes Lincoln descendants and American visitors. A Lincoln display near the north door includes family tree charts and photos of the Massachusetts Hingham Church. St. Andrew's Church is the spiritual and documentary cradle of the Lincoln family in England, with Samuel Lincoln's 1622 baptism marking the direct link to the future US president. The church remains a living testament to this transatlantic story.